but filled with a greater reluctance to remain near Abhorsen, for his name was one of secrets and unspoken fears. When the midwife went to lay the child down and leave, Abhorsen spoke.
"Wait. You will be needed."
The midwife looked down on the baby and saw that it was a girl child and, save for its stillness, could be merely sleeping. She had heard of Abhorsen, and if the girl could live... Warily, she picked up the child again and held her out to the Charter-Mage.
"If the Charter does not," began the man.
But Abhorsen held up a pallid hand and interrupted.
"Let us see what the Charter wills."
The man looked at the child again and sighed. Then he took a small bottle from his pouch and held it aloft, crying out a chant that was the beginning of a charter. One that listed all things that lived or grew, or once lived, or would live again, and the bonds that held them all together. As he spoke, a light came to the bottle, pulsing with the rhythm of the chant. Then the chanter was silent. He touched the bottle to the earth, then to the sign of wood ash on his forehead, and then upended it over the child. A great flash lit the surrounding woods as the glowing liquid splashed over the child's head, and the priest cried, "By the charter that binds all things, we name thee..." Normally the parents of the child would then speak the name. Here only Abhorsen spoke, and he said, "Sabriel." As he uttered the word, the wood ash disappeared from the priest's forehead and slowly formed on the child's. The charter had accepted the baptism.
But she is dead,"
exclaimed the Charter-Mage, gingerly touching his forehead to make sure the ash was truly gone. He got no answer, for the midwife was staring across the fire at Abhorsen, and Abhorsen was staring at nothing. His eyes reflected the dancing flames, but did not see them. Slowly, a chill mist began to rise from his body, spreading towards the man and midwife, who scuttled to the other side of the fire, wanting to get away, but now too afraid to run. He could hear the child crying, which was good. If she had gone beyond the first gateway, he could not bring her back without more stringent preparations and a subsequent dilution of her spirit. The current was strong, but he knew this branch of the river and waded past pools and eddies that hoped to drag him under. Already he could feel the waters leaching his spirit, but his will was strong, so they took only the colour, not the substance. He paused to listen, and hearing the crying diminish, hastened forward. Perhaps she was already at the gateway, and about to pass. The first gate was a veil of mist, with a single dark opening, where the river poured into the silence beyond. Abhorsen hurried towards it, and then stopped. The baby had not yet passed through, but only because something had caught her and picked her up. Standing there, looming up out of the black waters, was a shadow darker than the gate. It was several feet higher than Abhorsen, and there were pale marsh lights burning where you would expect to see eyes, and the fetid stench of carrion rolled off it, a warm stench that relieved the chill of the river. Abhorsen advanced on the thing slowly, watching the child it held loosely in the crook of a shadowed arm. The baby was asleep, but restless, and it squirmed towards the creature, seeking a mother's breast, but it only held her away from itself, as if the child were hot or caustic. Slowly, Abhorsen drew a small silver handbell from the bandolier of bells across his chest and cocked his wrist to ring it. But the shadow thing held the baby up and spoke in a dry, slithery voice, like a snake on gravel.
"Spirit of your spirit, Abhorsen. You can't spell me.